Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to today's pick a card reading on what you may not see about yourself, but other people definitely do. We have 3 piles to choose from: pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and there is no extended today, but I did set up a new situation for personal readings. I will now be using Linktree that gives a whole lot more payment options. So I don't know why I didn't do that already, but now you can book with me on there. There are still some readings available on Etsy. I will not be restocking there anymore. So once they're done, they will be done. And I think that's all I have to say. So I will leave you to focus on which deck calls to you the most, and I will see you soon. Hello, my beautiful pile ones, and welcome to your reading on what you may not see about yourself, but other people definitely do. So we're starting off with these oracle cards first. Let's see what we have. We have Jupiter, abundance, Sagittarius energy could be significant. We have child, magical. We have goddess. We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Swords. You are a liar and a crook. I'm joking, obviously. It's because everyone seems to dislike the Seven of Swords, but we'll get to it. But don't be alarmed, please. We have a Flower Fairy's Joy. We have Virgo and Leo. Healing opportunities, as well as release the past. This is good energy, honestly. Inside and out, I think you are beautiful. And I'm not just saying that. I feel it and I see it, and that's just how it is. So let's get that out of the way. But what you may not see about yourself is I think you are incredibly powerful. And you may not notice the extent of this power, but I think you're a spiritual powerhouse. I think you are so connected. I think you are so in tune with your own energy. And of course, there can be disruptions and ups and downs and days where you don't feel your best. But your core energy, your core vibration, whatever you want to call it, I think that is, it's so bright and it's so attractive and it's so powerful. I think what I see here is what I could call fairy energy. I think there is something magical, something kind of otherworldly about you that other people definitely see when they are in your presence, when they hear you talk about your perspective on, like, maybe the universe, maybe your own spirituality. I think you've taught a lot of things to a lot of people, regardless of how old you are, especially with this child magical energy. I think you are an old soul, but I think you have a lot of like playful, silly energy as well, which people find very, very alluring and very nice to be around. I think you bring peace to a lot of people as well, especially with this healing opportunities card. I feel like you may have had a lot of less than optimal experiences in your past, maybe especially when it comes to matters of the heart, maybe related to like love and romance or intimacy. I think you've grown immensely through your experiences. I think you're very good at finding the lesson in the things that you go through. I think you can be very analytical, very observant, very good at reading situations and reading people. I think you're also incredibly intuitive, and that's what the Seven of Swords is telling me. This is a huge moon. And I think you basically have the energy of a huge walking moon. And I interpret that, and I mean that in 2 separate contexts. One, I think you are incredibly intuitive, and I think people are aware of this. I think they feel like you can kind of read them or you get them in a way not everyone else does. Even if their experience is so different from yours, I think you always have a lot of empathy and a very high level of like understanding around other people's experiences, and a lot of openness as well to perceiving these experiences, to listening, to understanding. I think you can experience a lot of growth, like secondhand growth almost, through understanding other people's mindsets, other people's situations. I think a lot of people come to you for advice. You may not have like your shit together, and that is perfectly okay. I think you just give off like a chaotic, but also I have my shit together kind of energy to people, even if like you don't feel that way. So I think people come to you for advice a lot, and I think people trust your advice a lot. There may have been a lot of like drama in your love life, especially, or like your life could be a bit like almost like a TV show. I think that's how people perceive it in a way. Like there could be a lot going on, or a lot kind of out of the ordinary, like a lot happening outside of routine, a lot of exciting things happening. You could travel a lot, or you could be very well traveled already. I think you're not afraid to be yourself, and I think other people find that incredibly inspiring. It's like their inner child comes out when they're around you, and it doesn't matter if this is a romantic partner, if it's a friend, whoever it may be. I think people are also intimidated by your energy, even though I think you look very kind of like soft and inviting. I think you can also come off very intimidating. Not because you're a scary person, but because you just have so much really like, I don't know how to describe this energy, but a lot of magnetism. And I think people can tell you're really wise, regardless of how old you may be. I think it's in the way that you speak. I also get the sense that you may have a lot of secret admirers. Like a lot of people that you wouldn't even think would be into you. People that you may feel don't even like know you that well, or that you haven't even talked to that much. I think you like get people's interest really quickly because you have such inviting and such alluring energy. And I think things have a way of working out for you, and that is because you are so connected and you recognize your own power. You recognize that you are a spiritual powerhouse, and you use that power to your advantage to manifest things for yourself, to build a life that you are happy to live. With this Leo energy and this Virgo energy, I think you naturally attract a lot of attention, though you may be unaware of it, or you may be aware of it, but kind of like in a way where you're not really paying attention to it. I don't think you enjoy attention very much, especially explicit attention. But I think you get it anyway. I think you turn heads very often, and literally just in your energy. You may also have like a more unique style that people also like are drawn to. I think you give off incredibly gentle energy, like very loving of everything, like loving towards nature, loving towards animals, loving towards other people. loving towards yourself, your own self. I think self-love has been maybe a big theme in your energy in the past, like, I was going to say a couple of years. The time limit essentially doesn't matter. But self-love could have been like a big theme that you've been focused on lately. And I think it really shows in your energy. I think it's very easily perceived by other people. I think nothing gets past you. And you definitely don't get past other people in the sense that I think you walk into a room, you don't go unnoticed. You may see people like in the corner of your eye kind of glancing at you or staring like straight up as well. I think you've been the gateway to a lot of people's spiritual awakening or spiritual growth. I think a lot of people have been really inspired by your journey and how you've been building yourself up, how unafraid you are of really being yourself, regardless of what anyone else might say or think or want from you. You may struggle with like conforming to other people's expectations versus conforming to your own, and sometimes I think it can get really muddled between like what other people expect of you and what you want from yourself. And if that is something you ever struggle with, I think it's important to recognize what is additional noise and what is your inner voice, what you want from yourself, what you want from your life. I think you've mastered this skill to a high extent, but there may still be ups and downs, or where you feel like where you subconsciously may allow other people to give you their input and dictate like how you should be or something. You may have an ideal in your head that is not necessarily your ideal. I don't think you're necessarily working towards this ideal if it's like someone else's, because I think your intuition is pulling you in a different direction. I know this is kind of random, but it's it's coming through, so maybe it's relevant for someone. But you gotta do you. I think you have such unique and such, I think everyone is unique, but you have such like special energy. You may have a lot of spiritual talents, for lack of a better way of describing these, like clairvoyance, astral projection. I think mentally you are like I think you're mentally very strong, but also mentally very like high capacity. And I think your heart space is really big too. I think you have a huge heart, so much empathy. I think you're very sensitive. You could be a highly sensitive person. You could identify as an empath. Anything along those lines. You could work with people. I think you would be very good at working with people, even leading some kind of group as well. People definitely see leadership in you. I don't know if you would consider yourself a leader, because I don't think you're so like someone who's after being so dominant necessarily, or someone who's after the spotlight necessarily. I think you are just a natural leader. And I think you do it in the best way by kind of just having a lot of empathy for whoever is around you. I think that's why people gravitate towards you. I think a lot of people would say that they met you exactly at the right time, or meeting you taught them something big about themselves or their life, or changed their life in a significant way. I think you've had a significant role in a lot of people's lives, especially friends and like romantic partners. I think you are remembered. I think there is like this unforgettable quality to your energy because it's so kind of ethereal and otherworldly. Not everyone will be perceptive of this, or maybe describe it in this exact same way, but there's definitely something dreamy, something magical about your energy. This is like witchy, fairy, flower child energy. And I think you make people feel very comfortable opening up as well. Like, you may just meet someone and then immediately they start telling you their life story, even though you don't like necessarily, even if you don't start with that intention, or you don't go into the conversation with that intention, even if you're at a party or something, people could just randomly open up to you, tell you about their life, tell you about their struggles, their childhood. I think your energy is incredibly inviting, and I think it really makes people reveal their heart and their intentions as well. Maybe that's because you can read people so easily, but I also think people are, maybe without noticing, more likely to willingly just like tell you things as well. I think you're a very good listener too, because of all of this inviting, receptive, empathy-filled energy. And I think you're very, very, very smart too. And incredibly humble, I have to say. Especially with all of this energy of like kind of not necessarily wanting the spotlight, or not necessarily wanting people's attention, but getting it effortlessly. I think you're very lovable. I mean, I love this energy, so you have me already. So let's get into the tarot. I wanted the tarot portion to be a bit like, not spontaneous, but a bit more free in terms of like what may come through. It could be advice, it could be additional things about you. We have a card that just fell off, so I guess we'll take it. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups as well. I think a lot of people have a crush on you. Maybe not like actively pursuing you all the time. I mean, maybe not all of these people are actively pursuing you all the time or doing something about it, but I think you're admired by a lot of people and crushed on by a lot of people as well. We have the Nine of Wands in reverse. I think people see the strength in your soul. I think it's really magnificent. That's what I'm hearing. I don't think I've ever said the word magnificent willingly, like out of my own will, in a sentence I was myself saying, but you are magnificent. That's what's coming through. Also, the letter M is very much highlighted to me, so maybe the letter M is significant, or you have your initial is M or something like that. Oh, my initial is M. I was thinking my sister's initial is M. Her actual initial is M. My real name is not Mia. Surprise! So that's why maybe it didn't really occur to me. But anyway, we have the Tower coming out, which is Scorpio or Aquarius energy, so these could be significant as well. We have the Four of Pentacles. and the Four of Cups. We have the Two of Wands in reverse. I think meeting you has been inevitably life-changing for a lot of people, or a significant amount of people, because it's coming through very strongly and kind of repeatedly. It's like they had no choice but to allow their lives to change, to give into the growth that their soul wants to experience. I think you've been a pathfinder of sorts to other people. I think you've paved the way and inspired people around you. I think you still do. But I feel like sometimes you can't. I need to go back to what I was saying about the moon, the second meaning, because I remember now that I didn't really talk about it, and I wanted to refer to that now, but let's get back into this. I think the second meaning I get out of like you being a big walking moon is the moon doesn't make its own light. The moon reflects. And I get the sense that you may sometimes have difficulty seeing your own light, and you may see everyone else's. I think you see the potential in everybody else. You may just have difficulty seeing it in yourself sometimes. Like, you don't generate light, but you reflect other people's light. You reflect it back to them, so they see their own worth. That's where the healing, that's where the inspirational energy comes from. But you have to realize that you are your own light source as well. You are not just the moon. You are not just somebody else's satellite. You are not just somebody else's mirror. You are a spiritual powerhouse. You are your own sun. You are your own light. And you don't need anyone else's to shine. That's what I wanted to say about that card. We have the Five of Swords in reverse and Death. So Scorpio energy could be very significant. I think you must be proud of the growth that you've experienced within your own self, because I think it's incredible. I think it's remarkable, honestly. And we have the Six of Wands. Definitely a lot of admirers. That is just confirming that for me. Definitely many admirers, more than you may be aware of. I think you also push yourself to go out of your comfort zone, and I think that inspires the people around you to do the same. Like, you've paved your own path, and it may not look like anyone else's, but also I don't think that should bother you, because I mean, it's your own path. Simple. Doesn't have to be like anyone else's. There's no reason for it to be like anyone else's. You don't want to be just another brick in the wall, and I think you're convincing other bricks in the wall to be different, to embrace their individuality as well, to embrace who they really are, who they really want to be. And fuck that, like, fuck anyone who disagrees, honestly. And that's what I have to say on this topic. So I think on this note, this is all I have for you, my beautiful pile ones. Let me know if this resonated. I would be very interested to meet you personally. Let's be friends, please. But yeah, this is all I have for you. I hope this made sense. I'm sending you tons of love. Take care and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile twos, and welcome to your reading on what you may not see about yourself, but other people definitely do. So we're starting off with these oracle cards first. let's see what your energy is like. We have Moon, Soul, Cancer energy could be significant, as well as Pisces, but they don't have to be. We have the Avenger upright, as well as the Thief upright, which is kind of funny because I jokingly called pile 1 a thief right at the beginning of the reading as well, and now we have the Thief card for you. So maybe for some of you, pile 1 could be relevant as well, but it doesn't have to be. We have the King of Swords coming out and the Queen of Wands. We have the Healing Tree, the Sun. Leo energy could be significant, and I would like to point out that we have the Sun and the Moon. We have Cancer, some more Moon energy. We have Spring Water and Rising Planets. The first thing I'm hearing is that you look good in green, and I could take that literally and guess that you have blue or green eyes. But besides that, I think this refers to, like, it makes me think of the heart. It makes me think of the heart chakra, and it's almost like the universe saying, this person looks good in love. This person looks their best when they love themselves, when they recognize that love is all around them, not just in romantic form, but in all shapes and sizes and forms. It's everywhere around them, and they look their best when they're soaked in it, when they're open to it, when they're vulnerable to it. And looking at this energy, I can see that staying open to love may not have been very easy for you, looking at the experiences that you may have gone through. I feel like people have wronged you in the past, especially in intimate settings when you placed your trust in them. I think this has made you develop kind of this energy of this very strong King or Queen of Swords energy, where you're not going to take shit from anyone, where you will stand up for yourself or anyone that's kind of getting treatment in an unfair way. I think you are very protective of your kin. I think you're very protective of the people that you love, and I don't think you give up on people very easily. I think you believe people and you believe in people until the very end, until they prove to you that maybe that, like, trust or forgiveness was misplaced. Because it kind of feels like maybe this has been a story that's repeated itself for some of you, and you've had to learn to become much more intuitive, much more discerning of other people's energies. I think it's made you become a bit more guarded, not towards everyone possibly, but I think you can come across very intimidating. And I don't mean this in a negative way at all. I think you make it obvious that you don't play games and you're not going to participate if anyone else is as well. And I think the people that have wronged you are honestly terrified of your wrath. You may not see this about yourself. You may not think you're scary. I don't think you're scary energetically, but I think the people that have wronged you are scared because they recognize your worth. They recognize your inner strength and how you have endured and stood up time after time, regardless of what your experience has been. And maybe it's unfortunate that it has had to happen in this way, that you recognize your own strength. Maybe it's unfortunate that you've had to build so much strength. But I just saw 444 as I was like starting this train of thought, and I think you've built such strong foundations within yourself, or you are building such strong foundations within yourself, and it definitely shows. The love, the energy, that you've been pouring into yourself shows, and it overflows. And I think other people see this very clearly. And how unfortunate it is for those people that have wronged you, that they had their chance, but now they seem to like not be able to access your energy. I think what you may forget sometimes is how valuable your time and energy are, and how valuable you are. I think there may have been experiences in the past where people may not have noticed this instantly. People may not have just treated you right instantly. I think that is a reflection of their energy and not a reflection of yours. It's not a reflection, it's definitely not a reflection of how you deserve to be treated. It is a reflection of what these people may have been able to give to you at the time because of their relationship with their own self, or where they're at with their own journey. But that says absolutely nothing about you. And I think you are coming to a point where you recognize the light within you and how bright that burns. I think people recognize this light pretty much instantly at this point. And I think you are attracting a lot of blessings to yourself because of the energy that you are embodying, or you are working towards embodying. I think you are making peace with yourself, and I think the people around you find that inspirational, especially if there are people who have been through like similar experiences in the past, similar experiences to you. I think you have inspirational energy, and there's also the sense that not everyone gets to know you on a very deep level, which is perfectly okay. You don't have to get to know anyone on a personal level, but I think there is a lot of like curiosity towards you, which you may not notice. I think there may also be people around you who envy you. That is coming through as well. Like someone who envies your success, someone who envies like how you've moved forward from a past situation. This could also just straight up be a past partner that is coming through that envies what you've been building for yourself, what they feel like you've been building for yourself, the glow up that you've been experiencing. I feel like you are in the middle, or like I feel like lately you've been glowing up. And it doesn't have to be any specific area of your life, because it mainly feels like all areas of your life, one by one. Maybe it hasn't gotten to career yet, or maybe it hasn't gotten to, you want to change your hair color, but you haven't gotten to that yet. But regardless of where you may be in this cycle of glow ups all around, I think it really shows. And I really feel like you have such a big heart, but you have been learning a lot about boundaries and how to go about life and relationships by placing boundaries fearlessly, without guilt, being fully aware of what you deserve, and not at all willing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. I think that has made a world of difference. I think that is bringing in people, situations, things that match your energy, because it's not negotiable that you're going to settle for something less than what you know you deserve. I think you've been healing a lot of self-limiting beliefs and perceptions around your own self. the spring water energy, as well as the healing tree, like both of these are very watery cards. I think you've been evolving, you've been growing consistently. I think you're like a butterfly. I think you have butterfly energy. And I think all of these experiences have made you so wise, so perceptive, so receptive, so... And I think it's incredible that you have taken these experiences that may have been very difficult and you have turned them into fuel for growth. I think you're in a very abundant phase as well, and if you make art or if you like make anything really, like even cooking something, I think you're really good at whatever you do with your hands and your creativity. It can be cooking, it can be painting, it can be writing, it can be poetry, it can be doing poetry slams. I did that. That was quite an experience for me. But you could, I completely blanked at poetry slam. Okay. But essentially, I think you are both energetically and appearance-wise and inner light-wise so attractive. I think you could be someone's muse as well. I'm kind of getting this storyline of like someone asked you to settle for less, or someone didn't match your energy and you walked away, or the situation didn't work out, and then they now make art or music inspired by you. This is not going to be the case for every single person, but this is something, like, it's something specific that's just coming through. I'm also just going to quickly fix this a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. I see you getting a lot of recognition for the inner work that you've been doing, because I think that inner work is projecting into your reality. And I think it's calling in people that match your energy and opportunities that match your energy as well. I think you're very fair. I think you can be very objective. I think you've gotten pretty good at reading people as well. And I think some people around you are intimidated by this. I think you're brilliant, honestly, pile 2. I think you're brilliant. I think you're finally seeing how much you're worth, and I think that's a beautiful energy to be in. I think you're really connecting with yourself. I think you've really spent time getting to know yourself, your needs, your desires, and you've decided that you're not going to settle for less. And honestly, you shouldn't, and you don't have to. So I approve of this energy. But let's get some tarot to get into this energy a bit more. I don't want to limit what can come through. It can be advice, it can be additional details. We'll just see how it goes. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, you have a lot of good coming your way. This is not advice or additional information about you. I think this is just the universe letting you know that what you asked for is on its way to you. That's how I'm hearing it. With the 10 of Cups in reverse, maybe been in a situation where you try to make everyone happy, but if that consistently means always making yourself unhappy or giving up parts of yourself or bending to someone else's needs and never really taking care of your own, then maybe you shouldn't make everyone happy. And honestly, you don't have to make everyone happy. I think most of you already know this, but maybe there are times where you feel like you should, maybe there are times where you feel guilty for prioritizing yourself. And if that's the case, you should know that there is absolutely nothing wrong with prioritizing yourself and your own well-being and your healing, and to seek situations that match your energy, that make you feel good. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's, I think, what you should be doing anyway. So you should be proud of yourself. That's the message I take from what I'm seeing. I think a lot of people, maybe your friends, maybe your family, maybe like a community that you're part of, I think a lot of people are proud of you. We have the Six of Wands. You are getting the recognition that you deserve for speaking up and for expressing yourself, maybe to people around you, but also to yourself, being honest with yourself about your needs, your desires, being honest about who you are, who you want to be, what kind of situations you want to be in, being honest about situations that you have been in, seeing them for what they truly are. This could be a time where you've had a lot of realizations, or you've come to a lot of significant conclusions about the situations that are or have been in your life. I think you're speaking your desires into existence, because I think you are making your mind up about what you want more of, and I think you're really aligning with it. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse, we have the Three of Swords in reverse, and we have the Star. You are absolutely an inspiration. Some of you could even be getting some kind of fame. I don't know if we have some celebrities among us, but the Six of Wands and the Star has fame energy. Or you could just give off that kind of energy, you know, like when you're out in public, people may look at you and think, is that a famous person? Or maybe some of you like look like someone very famous. To be fair, I have no idea who I'm channeling, so who knows? It could be Beyonce for all I know, but I don't know. Who knows? Can we clarify the King of... Thank you. We have the Seven of Wands. I think for some of you, there is someone that is a bit terrified of a conversation that they could feel is coming in, like a confrontation kind of thing. I think someone... It almost seems like someone from the past is like scared of facing you, so they're hiding or running in some sense. I think this person knows that they did something wrong, or they did you wrong, and you're not going to be gentle and nurturing with them, even though I think that is essentially your default energy. I think you've learned to be selective with who you give that kind of energy to. Can we clarify the 10 of Cups in, thank you, we have the 9 of Cups. And we have the 4 of Cups. I think if you're in a place right now where you feel burned by the past and you're not really willing to stay open to new situations, I think that's a very normal reaction to what may have hurt you in the past. But it's also important to put it into the perspective of the past will not keep repeating itself, especially if you now know what you want and what you don't want, because then you can set proper boundaries. Then you can decide if you want to get yourself into something or not. Then you can decide what your rules are. Then you can decide what kind of person you want, what kind of situation you want. You can decide how you're gonna show up. You have more control than you may think, and you need to look at every new situation as a blank book, not even a blank page, but a new book. It's a book that you haven't read before, and if it starts to get eerily similar to another story that you read before, then it may help to like be more alert or to see if there is something to read between the lines. But not every situation is going to have like words scribbled in between the lines. Sometimes it's just going to be a straight up really nice story with lots of rainbows and butterflies and laughter and happy moments and peace and comfort and safety. Even if that wasn't the kind of situations you found yourself in the past, it's also not something that is like impossible or something. It's very, very possible, possibly right in front of you too. But it takes an open mind and an open heart, and I heard very big open eyes, so maybe some of you have very big eyes. But give yourself the power and have comfort in the knowledge that you can give it a go. Any new situation that comes your way, you can give it a go. And if you feel that it really isn't working for you, you can decide to stop giving it a go. You can set boundaries as you feel comfortable. And I think it's also important to put your focus on the present the most, then the future, and the future as in like planning for yourself, getting excited for everything that you're manifesting for yourself, all of the good that you deserve to experience and that you will experience. But essentially, the only time point that you can alter is right now. It's the present. You can't change the past, and you can't really perfectly plan for the future. So your energy is best spent right here, right where you are in the present. And if you have trouble kind of traveling between the past, the future, too much, so much that you can't like be present here right now, I think it's important to remind yourself that right now, the you right now needs you, because for lack of a better way of describing it, that's the version of you that's the only version of you that exists right now. And of course, I don't mean like ignore the past or anything along those lines. But what I mean is process the past. And once it's time, where you've gotten everything you can out of it, where you've learned everything you can from it, where you have processed and felt every reaction to it, then it may be time to put it in the perspective of holding on to toxic feelings will not poison the people who hurt you, but it will eventually poison you. So if you have a lot of resentment, a lot of like bitterness towards someone or something in the past, take stock of how that makes you, like how that affects you daily in general. And I think looking at it from the perspective of I deserve to have peace can really change the narrative of a situation, like the narrative that you're telling yourself. Because if you put it in the framework of I deserve to have peace over this, regardless of what the other person may feel or go through, by prioritizing yourself and your feelings in the situation, by bringing the attention back to yourself, I think it's a whole lot easier to feel your feelings and to process them and to give yourself peace from them when it's time to. And I think on this note, this is all I have for you. I hope this was helpful. I hope this made sense. I'm sending you tons of love. Take care and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile threes, and welcome to your reading on what you may not see about yourself, but other people definitely do. We're starting out with these cards first. With 8th house, endings and beginnings. Scorpio energy could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. We have companion, rescuer. We have the Empress, Taurus or Libra energy could be significant. We have the 7 of Cups, which always gives me Pisces energy, so I will throw that out there as well. We have plants, sacred temple. Fire, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. We have the first quarter. I am the fire of my soul, the fire of the stars, the sacred fire of life. And we also have lost treasures. Damn, it appears we have a lot of hot people in this community. I've been channeling such hot people this whole reading. The first thing I will say about you is that you are hot, and people notice this. I don't know how to describe this in a better way than straight up just saying you are hot. You have hot energy, you are hot. You are attractive. You, I think, are someone people may often fantasize or daydream about. I think there is this very mysterious and very seductive quality to you. I think you turn heads. Like when you walk down the street, when you walk into a room, you may be very social as well, or you may be in a lot of like crowded environments, even if you keep to yourself. I think if that is the case, crowded environments including like parties, concerts, school, work, if you work with a lot of people, just, I don't know, tourism things, whatever it may be, my God, people look at you, like you turn heads. I think it's not just because of your looks. I think it's also because of your energy and the way that you carry yourself. I think there is something inherently incredibly attractive about that. I think you're very confident, or you appear very confident to other people, and also very selfless and very loyal as well. I think you like to help people. I think you're kind of like a go-getter. But at the same time, I think you go get things for other people too. Like, you don't want it to just be you that is successful. I think you deeply care for other people as well. And I think people feel very cared for by you too. They see how big of a heart you have. And this has also been prominent in every single pile so far. So I am so proud of this community and your big hearts and how hot you all are. I'm so happy to be doing these readings today, honestly. Thank you for being here with me, and for letting me channel this good energy. But I think you have had like a significant role in a lot of people's lives, or like just several people's lives, regardless of how old you are, where you live, what you do. I think emotionally you've had a huge impact on a lot of people, especially in terms of letting other people, like allowing other people space to be themselves and allowing other people to have a space to be comfortable. Like, you could be that one friend that encourages everyone else. I think you are such a good friend before anything else. I think you're a good friend to your family members. I think you're a good friend to your friends. I think you're a good friend to your partner or to your lover or romantic interests. I think you're a good friend to everyone. I think you're a good friend to plants. I think you're a good friend to animals. Speaking of the plant sacred temple, you I'm hearing you roll nice joints. So maybe that's a thing for some of you, which I think you would already know about yourself, probably. So it's probably not something that you don't see. But if you're incredibly humble about your really beautiful joints, then maybe this message is for you. But I think you see the light in other people, and I think you help other people ground that light and bring that more into their reality, to embody that more. I think you are incredibly inspirational. You give me artist energy, and if you make art, please share it with me. I would be very, very happy to see. I love art. I love painting. You don't have to paint. I also love photography, but you can. I love digital art as well. But you can share like your recipe book with me. If you want to share something, I am here for it. I'm very excited for it, just as a side note. But I think you're just so fun to be around as well. And I know sometimes like people seem to think fun means like shallow, or like, just enjoying life and not really thinking about much. I don't think that's the case at all. I think you may have, I get the sense that for some of you, you may have like dabbled with psychedelics. You could have had an ego death. I think you have experienced a lot spiritually as well. I don't think it's that you lead just a fun life. I just think you can always see the brighter side of life and the brighter side of things. And I think you're very funny as well. I think you're very humorous. I think people love your sense of humor. You know, some people who have like just a very specific sense of humor that only other people with that specific sense of humor get. I think your sense of humor is understood by everyone. I think you are just universally funny. For some of you, you could even do like stand-up. I think you would be very good at that. I think you could have a fire sign. You, I forgot how to speak for a second. You could have your Mercury in a fire sign. You could have a fire sign as your Mercury placement. That was very difficult for me to get out. I think the way you express yourself is quite like confident, and I know what I'm talking about. Even if you don't, I think you would be very good at making people think you know what you're talking about as well. I think you're a creative soul. Not just in like your hobbies or something, but I think just in your existence. Like, your style could be very you could have like, I don't know, I think you're just effortlessly and fearlessly you, and I think that is so inspiring. And I think you're very independent as well. I don't think you like to depend on other people necessarily. Maybe that is something that you are learning too, that you don't have to be the one that's always there for other people and then still do everything on your own too. You can allow other people to be there for you as well, just in the same way that you're willing to be there for them. I heard I do things best though. So maybe some of you like to get things done yourself, especially I get like boss energy. So maybe some of you have a business or a group of people that work for you, or like you're in charge of something. I think you are very charismatic. I think you're very fun to talk to. I think you are very trustworthy as well. I think people know that their secrets are not going to leave you. Like, you're not going to go gossiping about other people. I think you're very much over those kinds of lower energies. I don't think you waste your time talking about things that don't necessarily involve you or that you don't want to be involved in anyway. I think you are very much someone who minds your own business. And I think it's very interesting. Like, you come across so grounded, but also so adventurous. Maybe that safety of that grounded feeling in you is what allows you to be so adventurous and so curious about what's out there, because you know that you're safe with yourself. And I think other people feel that they're safe with you as well. You could serve as a mentor to other people inevitably, even if that's not your intention. I think you just are wise. And I think you express yourself really well. I think you make other people listen to you. And I think that's why you've gotten pretty good at either giving advice or like making other people feel supported, or both. I think you're very good at encouraging people as well. I'm getting like body positivity, self-love, all of these beautiful concepts, and I think you have been on a journey of accepting yourself and situations as you are, as what they are. And I feel like you're just enjoying being here. I think you're just enjoying your time. Even if there are ups and downs, there will always be ups and downs, and that's okay. But I think you are leaving a mark on people's journeys. I think you have become a significant part of other people's journeys. And I get the sense that you're leaving your mark on Earth. I don't know what I mean by that, but there is that creator energy. I think you inspire people to start again as well, and to not be afraid to take chances, to not be afraid to take risks, to not be afraid to go follow that opportunity that they feel drawn to, that they intuitively feel drawn to. I think you inspire people to navigate more with their heart and not so much live in their head. And I think you are very loving. I think love means a lot to you. You may not talk about it very often. I don't think you open up a lot. I don't think like you tell everyone everything about yourself either. Maybe that's why there is this like mysterious energy to you. But I think it's people enjoy figuring you out or trying to figure you out. I think that makes you very alluring, that you're not so much of an open book. I think you wouldn't mind being an open book. I don't think you have like anything against that, or I don't think you're trying to appear secretive or mysterious on purpose. I think you just mind your own business. Let's get into the tarot. For the tarot portion, I didn't want to set a boundary on what can come through. So it could be advice, it could be just additional qualities, compliments, whatever it may be. It's all allowed to come through, so we'll see. Ooh. That was not even a shuffle, was it? We'll go again. No shame. I have small hands. All right. What do other people see about pile 3 that they don't see about themselves, or any advice? We have the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the 4 of Swords in reverse. Some of you may have taken on too much recently, like you may feel like you have too much on your plate. I also think you can get very personally concerned with other people's problems, which is a sign of a lot of empathy, but sometimes it can backfire, because if you consistently become very, very, very involved in other people's issues or their negative feelings or the heavy things that they're dealing with, it is beautiful that you want to be there for them. You can absolutely be there for them and support them and encourage them and cheer them on, but it doesn't fall on your shoulders to care for everybody else's well-being and to take responsibility for their healing or to do the healing for them. That part is not your responsibility. It's everyone's own responsibility. You are responsible for your own well-being, yes. You can be there for other people, yes. Other people can be there for you, absolutely. But it is never just your responsibility to take on other people's problems or to fix these problems for them. And I think because you are essentially so selfless and so naturally giving, sometimes it can be difficult to like say no or set a boundary with a situation that may be draining you more than anything else. And if you're completely drained, you can't help anyone and you can't help yourself. So you need to rest and you need to really look at how much you can eat. Look at how much is on your plate, and if it's too much, you can always come back later. You don't have to do it all at once, because for some of you, get this sense of like, you have quick moving energy, but I think there may be also people who pull on your energy quite a bit, or who need quite a lot of your energy, seemingly. We have the King of Cups, and I'm not saying like don't care about these people or anything along those lines. I think it is very admirable that you have such a big heart. But if you don't have energy to give, you don't have to commit to giving that energy or feel like it's your responsibility to muster up that energy somehow and still give it away, even though you yourself feel drained. So boundaries are important. They're healthy and I think very necessary in sustaining relationships of any kind. We have the Lovers, Gemini, we have the King of Cups, and we have the Hermit, Virgo energy. We have the Two of Swords, I think you have a person that is longing for you. This was not meant to be a love reading at all, but I think there is someone who is very fond of you, who is fantasizing or daydreaming or both about you from afar. They could be a water sign, but they don't have to be, or a water rising, but they don't have to be. I think this is essentially just someone who feels very connected to you on a very, very, very deep level, and you've left a huge impression on this person. You may have a lot of history with them, but I think they're far away from you now, either at a distance or emotionally at a distance from you. Like they're a bit cut off from your energy, or they see you as a bit untouchable, or like they can't really get to your energy. We have the Page of Swords. I think when you have a soft spot for people, it can become more difficult to express yourself honestly because you don't want to hurt them in any way. You don't even want to risk hurting them. I think you're very soft-spoken, like very fiery, but very soft-spoken at the same time. I think it's important to know and always keep in mind that boundaries are okay. And if someone gets mad at you for setting a boundary with them, then they may not be respecting your boundaries, which essentially is, I think, not really cool on its own. So you may want to rethink, like, is this dynamic matched or is it mismatched? Is this working for me? Or is this completely not a match for my energy? Can we clarify the Lovers, please? I think you also have a lot of like people skills, I want to say. Like you could work an entire room just by yourself. You could be very good at making conversation. I'm getting Mercury, like air sign Mercury or fire sign Mercury. Especially Gemini energy could be significant. People find you very exciting as well, kind of like a puzzle to solve. Where did that go? We have the Seven of Cups in reverse. We also have the Seven of Cups in the first part of your reading. Yeah, I think that you definitely have a secret admirer kind of person. I think possibly more than one, but someone is really sticking out. This is someone with really deep feelings for you that is interrupting this reading that is not meant to be about them. So, hello. I guess they really wanted to come through and make themselves known. They may feel like you are not paying attention to them, or like you have too much going on to even notice them or to give them the time of your day. This person almost feels removed from your energy, and they know you have options, and they feel like they're not an option for you anymore. And we have the Tower. I think you're constantly discovering more about yourself, and I think that changes and shapes the way you see the world around you too, and the universe. I think you very often go through a lot of deep inner transformations, come to a lot of realizations, consistently and continuously heal and grow and evolve and become even brighter, become even lighter, become wiser. And I think you inspire people around you to do the same as well. Is there anything else that wants to come through for my beautiful pile threes? Anything else that wants to come through? All right, I think on this note, this is all I have for you. I hope this made sense. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. This was super fun. I'm sending you tons of love. Take care and bye.